I always see Chris in that corner, on that chair, whether he's with Coach Will, or he always makes kind of like a run for his money in these tournaments. Like whether it's a last chance in Swiss style format.
He loves a round 5 fixture.
He always loves having an exciting Swiss style format, and fair play to him because he had to play dual star. In the MLS clash that we saw a minute ago. On the other side of that, Stefano Pinna. This isn't Stefano Pinna that we're used to seeing in a round 5 of Swiss style format. He normally gets the job done maybe by round 4 maximum.
Round 3,
round 3, sometimes a 3-0. However,
two different stories emerging in round 5. Chris started 0-2. He's on the comeback trail. Pinna started 2-0. He's been on the decline. Who is going to get over the finish line in the end? Who is going to make it through? 3-2 in round 5 of Swiss. We're going to find out very, very shortly indeed. We've got 3 remaining fixtures for today. 6 players left in the Gfinity Arena. And we're going to be, as Tom said, bouncing around each game. Goals as they go in from around the grounds. I can see Lost in the Waves. I can see New York City Chris. I can see Pinna. I can see Webb Nasri. This is going to be an unbelievable last round of Swiss.
Oh, most definitely agree, Richard. And I think it's important to say as well that, Webb Nasri, a player that we always see maybe sometimes struggle to get out of Swiss. So if he can get himself out of Swiss style, that'll be a building block for the Japanese FIFA player there.
Qualified for loads of events this
he's been everywhere. I think he's just sitting above 900 Global Series ranking points. So he's making a lot of events, but he just seems to struggle getting out of kind of the Swiss style format. You've got Myrtle as well, obviously the Turkish player. He's up against Webb Nasri. Then you've got Lost in the Waves against Fafilza. Fafilza, for him, he would normally like to get the job done a little bit earlier, but sometimes you can't always have that. You can't always go to plan, and here we are, round 5 of Swiss style format. The second half of it, we saw the Xbox side kind of close out. We saw amazing performances from the likes of #Harry, Stokes, MS Dasari. He got there in the end.
Yeah, I'm interested to see as well. On the Xbox side of things, we saw super emphatic wins in this 5th round of Swiss. 7, 8, 9 goals scored for the victors in the 5th round of Swiss on the Xbox. On the PlayStation, are we going to see the similar sort of results, or is it going to be more cagey? Is it going to be more strategic, more tactical, and more narrow in this final round? We will soon find out. In around 35-40 minutes time, we will know the 3 remaining players joining the 5 who are already there on the PlayStation 4 to be coming back tomorrow for bracket play.
Exactly that, and a chance, as you said, to play in the knockouts and to eventually pick up that check at the end of the day. But just under $9,000, and obviously those Global Series ranking points as well. But the 2 players you're looking at now are players that have made a lot of events this year. They've both picked up a lot of Global Series ranking points, and you heard Harry there on the panelist desk saying about how they're both top 10 FIFA.gg ranking players. Off the post, that was nearly the opening goal of the game for New York City, Chris.
Both these players in such different mindsets as well. Pinna looks agitated. He looks like he shouldn't be in this position, in all honesty, for himself. However, on the other side of it, you've got Chris. He was 0-2. He fell out. And then a couple of results back-to-back. He's been building. He's got
to try and defend this one first as the shot does come in. The first one really off the game from Pinna. Took a deflection, actually hit, I think, Neymar in the back.
And he said, come back, Chris. A miracle, New York City Chris. When I caught up with him a little bit earlier on today. Not often you see a player go 0-2 and then go through. I think the most famous case of it at the playoffs, when he was representing Envy, Aero, he was 0-3. He went through in Swiss 4-3. This was when we had more players actually competing at events, 64 to be precise.
He's done that a few times now, Stefano Pinna. Just a simple scoop up into a cross.
Aero then went on to actually make the last 16 on his side.
That was an absolute crazy story there from Aero, obviously. More known now, we're playing with Olympic Lyon over in the Orange E-League. And it's a first shot. That's really tested David De Gea for New York City, Chris. 20 minutes nearly on the clock there. Corner comes in. Front post flick on was the task, or the aim in hand, but unfortunately going to be punched away by David De Gea. It's been a really good end-to-end opening 20 minutes here. Is that going to fall kindly to Ronaldo on the edge of the box? Oh no, it's Rafael Varane, I should say.
Offside.
And he's just offside R9 there. That would have been the opening goal of the game.
Yeah, when I was chatting to Chris, I said, who do you not want to face? He went, Pinna. No, I don't want to face Pinna. I don't like facing Pinna. I always seem to match him in Swiss or in knockouts, and he always just seems to beat me. And said he'd rather face one of the other players. At this stage, he feels Pinna's the best player remaining out of the the potential opposition that he could have faced. There's a reason he's second player in the world on PlayStation, Stefano Pinna.
Of course, he knows this place only too well, Richard. He won last time he was here. And then fallen penalty shootout finish with Megabit back in February, and that obviously when he picked up
unbelievable
the LQE win there and those 850 Global Series ranking points. Since that, though, obviously he's had a bit of a break from online qualifiers, Pinna, and just needed to take a bit of extra time for himself. It's been a long old season for the likes of these two players that have made loads of events. You can see it on the Global Series ranking points they both have. They make events. They make a lot of events. You've got Chris as well, who's having to fly over from New York. He's playing the MLS as well. We're playing the MLS Cup at the end of next week. Look forward to seeing that one of the major leagues involved.
First time shot there from R9. It looks like he's probably playing in a right cam position. R9 Ronaldo.
Tell you what, he's moved that so well. Great save as well from De Gea. Watch the front post again. Will he look for Cristiano Ronaldo? Yes, he will. Won't find it, though. He's met by the hands of the Spaniard, De Gea.
You go through stages in a game of FIFA. One player will be on top, another player will be on top.
If you look as well on the mini-map now, everybody's in Pinna's half.
Every single player behind the ball.
And he's still got so much space somehow, Chris. Like, he's finding all the gaps you wouldn't expect him to do when Pinna's got all 11 players in his own half.
I mean, just look how attacking Chris is as well. He's got 5, 6 players, 7 players in around the box.
Back to the edge of the box now with Vieira. A little chip into a firing effort. Fortunately, that one's actually fired to the left of the goal. Took a deflection, though. In comes that corner. Tried to be so quick. Played to the head of Rafael Varane. It's going to be punched over by De Gea, and this has been non-stop pressure for Chris. Is he going to find that front post flick on? Yes, he is. Third time of asking. And you have to say, what, the 5th, 6th, 7th shot of the game? Well, the chance that Chris has created, and finally, it's paid off for him.
Yeah, that pressure finally coming off for him. Ronaldo with a powerful header at the front post. That chance was coming, though. He was creating chance after chance after chance. Just whipped into that front post, full power corner, and Ronaldo towering up, heading the ball home for Chris, and a deserved lead for the last 15, 16 minutes, since probably the 20th minute mark. He's created 7 shots to Pinna's 1.
As you said, he's really stated his intentions in this opening 13 game minutes here. Pinna, though, as you said,
you saw the little chip-up shots he were doing as well. They were all intentional. That's not bad passing. That's intentional chips up to his players to volley it instead of just shooting normally. The first time volley, it's a lot stronger than just a normal shot. Now the first time finesse shot has been very heavily nerfed. Players will find different ways of scoring the goals. When you're under pressure, sometimes you've got to do an El Tornado. Sometimes you have to play like that.
Saw the idea there where he tried to play a little back heel there from Cristiano Ronaldo. Fortunately, it was blocked for him, though, and Chris has looked the stronger of the two as we approach that half-time whistle in our first leg. Well, first leg, I should say. In round 5 of Swiss-style format there. We will be back tomorrow with all the action. The knockout action, I should say. Not long left at all. It's been a fantastic first half for Chris, I have to say again. 7 or 8 shots created, 7 or 8 shot potential goal scoring chances created. We got maybe disappointed he's only scored 1 from that, but he's still in the lead. He has to think that, tries to maybe cross that one all the way over, and he's done so well in such a small area. No space at all. Had to make big decisions, had to make a risk in the decisions he played. And to do that, okay, yes, it's maybe an effective skill move, an effective way of scoring goals, but when you've got 3 players around you, fair play.
Yeah, not only with the El Tornado to the back post, but it's the hand-eye coordination to be able to know that this is a good opportunity to be able to do that back post cross, to be able to do that El Tornado cross. And Chris, very, very successful in this first half. You saw Pinna there with a little formation change into a 4-2-2. Clearly wants to change something, not very happy at half-time.
See as well, Pinna 1 shot, Richard, at that half-time interval, which
hit out from across as well. Hit the post, just good save from the goalkeeper, I think it was. So he's under pressure right now, the Belgian.
I just feel like as well, Pinna, you mentioned it's a long old season, FIFA 19. We've seen people that have dropped off at the beginning, people that have started well and dropped off. I feel like
himself, he's tired.
Yeah, I feel like Pinna's going over this kind of really kind of rocky road at the moment. That he's already at the grand final. He knows he's at the grand final, but to stay consistent in any sport, in any esport, across the whole year, some players can do it easily. We saw, for example, Tex take that weekend off this weekend. He knows that he's got loads of Global Series ranking points. He's got the most, out of anyone in the world at the moment. To have, the ability and the confidence to say, you know what, I'm going to take this weekend off and have a break. It's a big call to make, and obviously, hopefully that's going to work out for him when he, puts full focus onto the EPL finals next week. It's all about for Pinna to get over this kind of rocky slope.
Yeah, there's a difference between taking a day off because you know that you're lazy, and difference between taking a day off because you know you're in a good position, that you can take time off. Pinna's in that position where he can take time off and he knows that he'll be able to come back. Very similar to what Tex has done.
See, there's still a long, long time left in this game. Not writing Pinna off just yet. For a man that's made a lot of events, picked up a lot of prize money and Global Series ranking points.
Won events as well. And 2 weeks ago, Pinna were in Singapore making a semi-final on his console side of things. So this is no way us saying that he's past it. However, he looks tired in his demeanour right now, does Stefano Pinna. He's been at a lot of events. Wow.
Oh my. That would have been one interesting goal there for New York City Chris. But on the other side of that, New York City Chris is just as much of an emotional player.
Oh,
I remember looking at in Bucharest in Swiss Star when things weren't going his way, and some players, they play on emotions. If they're playing well, if they're feeling good, they're rocking in the way they're playing FIFA. On the other side of that, it's going to have a natural effect on them.
Yeah, and I'm wondering when Chris is 0-2, is he just going to crash out 0-3?
Because it's easy to do that.
Yeah, 100%, especially as you talk about the emotional player that Chris is. But he's bounced back. He's shown that he has got resiliency in his locker.
And at the moment, he's 2-0 up and has not conceded a goal defensively. He has been sound. Pinna, though, needs to get himself a goal. Needs to spark something here. We'll try and do the El Tornado.
Successful in the El Tornado as well. Just dinked it up on the edge of the box.
Just resulting back, as you said, to what he knows works.
Timed volley as well into the bottom left corner. Nothing Chris can do about it in the defensive aspect.
Then get that ball out of the net, get back and get the game underway again. Try and...
See a lot of, you'd say, people saying the El Tornado's not a good goal to score. It's not this, it's not that. If it's an effective way of scoring, that's all that matters. When people score a penalty in real life, or I remember multiple times corners, Stoke City with the long throw-in from Rory Delap. If that's effective, people might say, oh, that's not pretty to watch. It's not this, it's not that. Stoke kept him in the Premier League for many seasons through playing basic football. Sam Allardyce, basic football. He kept teams in the Premier League for many years. If it's effective and it gets the job done.
Hence why you see, for example, maybe an El Tornado cross or an El Tornado finish itself, because, that's what some people might go as far as saying, that is potentially one of the most effective skill moves to use, or the most effective tactics to use. Off the bar again. How many times do we want to hit the bar here? And that's the little bit of reaction from New York City, Chris, that we said we might see in this game. To be honest, I'm with him on that one. He had 3 chances there.
The third one just over the bar.
You'd expect that one to be on target.
Hits the bar. So actually playing one touch with the crossbar.
If he was playing crossbar challenge, he just won twice there. Messi now. Pinna can get himself out of this into the second half, or technically in the tie, at a 2-2 scoreline. He should be happy with that because Chris has been all over him.
Oh yeah, he's been all over him like a rash, has New York City Chris.
This is where Chris needs to keep his head. You can just see a little bit of emotion there on the left-hand side of him.
If Pinna can get a goal back and really just put the dagger in the back of New York City Chris.
Messi out to Ronaldo now. This is Pinna's chance to strike if he can. Oh, no. There we go. Big pause there for Chris potentially.
And Pinna making changes as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see Pele coming on as that right cam position instead of Messi. I think that's quite a reasonable change to make. Looking at the bench, you can see R9 as well on there. Pele coming on.
You know, that's what we say about, you know, even R9. He's still, even if he's got that prime marker moment, sometimes he's still a sub.
Yep.
Some players will have that preference.
Some players very stick by they show the loyalty to the team of the years. They show the loyalty to the players that got them to the dance almost. If Pina won the LQE with a lot of team of the year players in the team, he's going to continue to use those players. Tex won his first tournament of the year with the icons in the team, with Eusebio, with Cruyff, with these sort of players. Real Ferdinand at the back. If he's doing a job for you, there's no need to change it.
Most definitely, and as you said, that's why so many players stick in teams. And as we talk about the story of Hullet and Vieira, they've been kind of a staple in every pros teams for a very long time. Even David De Gea.
Since FIFA 17, Hullet and Vieira have been in those teams.
We're into the last 10 minutes here, Richard. Currently 2-1 for New York City, Chris. If I was Chris, just hold out this result. The worst thing you can do is go and concede so it's an even playing field on the next game. At least have something to bounce upon in that second leg. I feel like Pina, though, he's going to get a chance. It just depends if he can take that. Just keep the ball, manage the game for Chris. Plays down the line now. This is Eusebio. With a lovely crossover. Lofted and timed so well.
Really nice, strong punch there. You see all the men behind the ball. That's a sea of blue shirts back there for New York City, Chris.
And if it maybe he changed some tactics or even a formation to see out this game. Massive tackle.
That's a Clodo Makalele, big tackle right there from Chris.
Added time to come now, probably added time of 2 minutes would be ideal for Chris. Or we'll see longer. No, added time of 2 minutes. Last attack now for Pina. He knows that. He'll have to come forward. Just a little lofted pass into the feet.
It's a chance.
Of Mbappe into Pele. Now Cristiano Ronaldo. Can he get the shot away into Messi? Watch that left foot. That could be so prevalent and dangerous. I think that should do us here though, Richard, for leg number 1. And it certainly will. Chris with the advantage. 60 minutes of perfect FIFA from Chris. He was just missing that last 30 minutes. He still won the game, yes, but he knows 30 more minutes in the tank were needed there.
Well, it wasn't only that, but a couple of things went against him, especially when he hit the crossbar twice and then headed it over. That's just another element to the frustration that added on Chris. And you can see he's quite disappointed because he probably feels as though he should be 3, 4, 5-1 up at the break. Pina getting a little bit of a grilling right now down there on the stage. He definitely knows that he needs to improve if he wants any chance of going through into the bracket play for tomorrow, into the knockouts.
I think he's just saying, obviously, Coach Romo Abdi that we know so well, which is keep your focus. You're a great player. You're second in the Global Series rankings. Keep your head together because you know you've got the quality. If you get the mindset right, you know, you'll be fine. We're just going to look at some of the highlights from that game. As you can see, shots are flying in, chances were flying in, and it was a crazy 21st minutes.
Yeah, and this is where you see Chris really starting to put the pressure on. A lot of chances in and around the box, and in the end, it was finally a corner.
I think it was chance number 7.
Yep.
So yeah, so we had 3 corners leading up to the big chance, right, when he scored this front post flick on. This was it here. Cristiano Ronaldo over the top of David De Gea, but that was the 7th chance that Chris created in 35 in-game minutes there. He was so dominant.
Ronaldo, a little bit of fortune there, a couple of step overs inside the box. El Tornado to the back post. And the other Ronaldo, the 2 Ronnies linking up there. R9 heading it in for him at the back post. And
Is this going to be the headers?
I think this is a couple of chances that he does miss. Flies past the post there. This one, he dinked it out. Ronaldo timed it green, hits the top of the net, and then Pina starts to play the way that he know he can.
As we mentioned, a very effective skill move and a very effective goal for Stefano Pina there. And there was nearly a chance at the end, however, a massive tackle there for him. And it did finish in the end by 2-1. New York City, Chris, with the slight advantage, Richard, heading into that second game. But I believe you've got some scores for us in front of us from those other 2 PlayStation games that did take place. And obviously, we want to hear them.
I do indeed. I'm the man with the iPad, with the responsibility to give you a few scores from around the ground. So as you can see there, it's New York City, Chris, leading 2-1 at half-time, you could say, after the first leg. Webb Nasri up against Lost in the Waves. Webb Nasri leading.
Wow, okay.
3-2. And in the final game in round 5 of Swiss, Eimertal and Wolves for Filzer is 2 apiece.
Okay, so that's interesting then. So we got pretty much basically all tight and congested games heading into obviously our second leg, which we are about to do here. New York City, Chris, up against Stefano Pinna. You know, we've said it more than most. I'm not just saying this out on Chris. I've seen Chris a few times in that position. It's like deja vu for me. I think, you know, he's been at LQEs. He seems to thrive off. He's always at the LQEs here in London. This is the third one we have had, of course. And he's used to getting to round 5 of Swiss Star, whether it's a good day, whether it's a bad day. And
he always makes round 5.
And I think he's learned from that. Okay, yes, he can still potentially go out here, but he would remember those past experiences. Those experiences do not leave you. On the other side of that, for Pinna, this is kind of unfamiliar territory. Still in the competition, yes. And that first goal that he did score last game was big for him. He's only behind by 1-0.
For Ronaldo at the front post, it's Varane on this occasion.
And you can't look past Stefano Pinna. I said it, yes, second in those Global Series rankings. An LQE winner, an LQE Grand Finalist. Top 4 finishes all the time for him. As he comes forward now, just knows he just released the ball slightly too quick. New York City, Chris, though, 35 minutes in the last game, 7 shots on target. Let's see that attacking prowess again from the American FIFA player who has been on the scene now for quite a while.
Yeah, since FIFA 17, I seem to remember him where he had... We caught up with him in Berlin at the finals, in which Rocky went on to win.
E-Club World Cup, he was everywhere.
Yeah, I think he had a couple of finals that he was almost the Neely man in FIFA 17. I think he had 3 different finals that he lost in.
Is that chance for Pinna? Oh, David De Gea, what are you doing?
How has that not gone in? A little, again, the chipped ball into him, it just enables him to volley it, which is so much, you'd say, stronger.
It's kind of like Ajax Danny, what we saw.
Yeah.
That kind of finesse that from distance that, sometimes can work, and the keeper can only just stand there and watch that.
Timed it green as well. Of course he did, Stefano Pinna.
What I can do, you can do better. Nearly a straight reply there from New York City, Chris Richards, straight down the other end. There was no timing on that shot, though. Did hit the woodwork.
You can see exactly what both of these players are trying to set up for.
Into Hullet now. This is Pinna's turn to come forward, but Vieira to Vieira. One of them losing the ball, one of them intercepting it.
Counter-attack potentially on the cards for Chris, but does keep hold of the ball very nicely. A little bit of cute possession here. No real intentions of going forward. In fact, Chris is one of those players that if he overthinks it and over-analyses the game, we've seen him throw leads away. It's such a narrow margin right now at only 2-1. He's just got to keep on. He's got to try and keep as calm as possible and keep as composed as possible. He's such an emotional player.
Ronaldo pushed out on this far-hand side, potentially question marks if he playing as a right cam on the formation. It's a short New York City Chris is playing. That's going to find kindly.
How many rebounds?
To Neymar. Ball just bouncing around everywhere like a pinball. This game just needs to take one chance. This has got, the touch. He knows it as well, Pinna.
Awful touch from Messi. You saw him just almost bully his way past there, the defensive line. Got in the right place. Just that heavy touch out of his feet when he were approaching goal. Showed too much of it to the goalie.
So someone just needs to get a goal in this game to take the sting out of it. It's really up in the air. Pull it. Into Cristiano Ronaldo. Neymar's happily to be back there defending. 30 minutes in here, and we are still goalless in our round 5 of Swiss style format from the Gfinity LQE. Pinna against Chris. 2 top 10 players on the FIFA.gg. Great save by the feet of David De Gea.
Fantastic.
Something we were so used to, congratulating him on last year was that save with feet trait that he did have last year.
The goalkeeper movement from Chris there, you saw Pinna just shifted the ball out of his feet, and Chris read it. He moved him all the way to the left-hand side. And as the low-driven shot came in, De Gea in the right place at the right time. Again, Chris just looking to hold possession. Almost do a little bit of a Stefano Pinna job on him.
You always said that, don't you, Richard? What a player loves to do. Just do the opposite. Just starve him of possession. Obviously, he hasn't really been able to do it too much so far, but if he can get himself another goal, maybe expect to see that from Chris. Maybe him keeping the ball slightly more.
Van Dijk's come a long way out of defence, and that gap's there.
Into Neymar. Watch out. Ronaldo's in there. Ronaldo's waiting for it. He goes out to Mbappe.
He's let Chris get his men back in position.
Such an unpredictable game so far, this one. We don't know which way it's going to go. Referee plays some kind of advantage there, which was enough for him.
Referee with maybe the shortest advantage ever played.
Chris has got to think now, if he can get himself into half-time, he's halfway there. If this finishes 0-0, I'm very, very certain it will not. We don't often see a 0-0.
Very, very rarely. We often don't see a clean sheet.
Yeah. From any player.
I think the last clean sheet, I want to say Dr. Ahano did one. Maybe at Gfinity, in the Gfinity Arena itself.
To Ronaldo, lovely ball. To Mbappe. Added time of 2 minutes. New York City, Chris, still with the advantage in this game, but that advantage is only off the back of that result in the first leg. Pinna will get one more chance. So Mbappe in the box, Ronaldo with it on the far-hand side, can't go any further back, has to be positive, has to go forward with the ball. Chris, on the other hand, just has to intercept it. Neymar now, great feet, back inside to Mbappe, will there be a shot? There is, it's deflected, fallen back inside of the post. And Pinna's got to be asking questions. What else can I do to try and put this ball into the back of the net?
He got a massive slice of luck, did Pinna, that the ball bounced to him inside the box because Chris was there. He read it with Marcelo, and the ball just sort of deflected off him. It was bouncing around in the box. A little bit. Did you ever go to the amusements where you used to have to hit the badger with the mole? The ball's just bouncing everywhere. You don't know where it's going to land.
You don't know where it's popping up.
Chris with that defending right there.
And he's got to be, as I said, he's got to be thinking now, I'm 45 in-game minutes away, not from just sending myself through, but to jumping up into that better kind of section of Global Series ranking points that he can get his hands onto. And he's going to be in the knockout stage as well, which is big for him as well, especially leading into the EMLS Cup for him and New York City FC. But how are the other games looking, Rich? Obviously, half-time in the second leg probably for those ones. Yeah,
we're not really seeing much movement in a lot of the other games. Webb Nazar's extended his lead to 4-2 in the second leg as it stands, and for Phils has actually overturned that drawing position that he was in. He's leading 4-3 as it stands. All 3 games still up for grabs in the 5th round of fixtures.
Hopefully, if this game started a little bit earlier, we might be able to catch some of the latter stages, the last few minutes in some of those other games. Well, you never know, this one might go to extra time as Chris will come forward. R9 out on the right-hand side, goes all the way in. Seen that quite a few times from Pinna's De Gea. Very keen to just pull him out a little bit. Make sure he can punch it out. Do his job as a goalkeeper, kind of just to mark his territory. Everything in the air, it seems, for both of these two. Flicks, little scoops, little dinks into little areas.
Yeah, in the attacking third, I don't think either of them have actually played really a pass on the floor, really. It's all been in the air, looking for volleys, looking for headers at the back post. Neither player really that happy to be playing on the ground.
You see Pinna on your left-hand side. If you just watch his expressions, he just...
agitated.
Even when he loses possession. Kind of a situation like, what can I do? And Chris has done very well to even make Pinna ask these questions. Messi into Neymar.
Looks like he's gone like food shopping on Christmas Eve. He's gone to a big supermarket and he's looking for things to buy. Everything's gone. You've come too late, Pinna. everything's sold out, mate.
Ball into the box. Ronaldo! About to say he was about to find an old turkey there on one of the shelves. And that would have just about done him because he would have been all square at 2-2. Chris's turn now. R9, lovely chip, goes across. Could David Haya just collect something, please?
My point being that he shouldn't even be in this position. He should have wrapped it up in the fourth, in the third, in the fourth round of fixtures. He was 2-0. He didn't have to be in this do-or-die situation.
Look, you just see there, a shrug of the shoulders. He's disappointed with the way he's playing at the moment. Neymar now. And I think the difference is there, you've got a player that was 0-2 and a player that was 2-0. They're both in the same position now. And you have to say, the tie favours Chris.
Yeah, look at current form. FIFA's all about current form, how you're coming into tournaments, how your tournament's gone. If you start well, usually you go on. Pinna started well and then just got derailed by Nicholas. And then since then, it's just sort of it's gone downhill for him, in all honesty. He should have gone for his Christmas shopping on the 14th of December and wrapped it up nice and early.
It's like he needs some sort of substitute here to really bring Pinna alive. And if anything, Pinna just needs to get out of today. He needs to get it through, get out of today, take yourself back to the hotel, go and have some dinner, go and relax. Tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's knockout football. However,
Pele coming on.
He won't be getting through unless he can score at least one goal and not concede any from New York City, Chris, which we must say, everything's going to plan for him. 65 minutes nearly played on the clock.
Eusebio coming on for New York City, Chris, at this stage. And 99 Pele coming on for Stefano Pinna.
Eusebio into Ramos. Eusebio's fresh as well, we must point that out. I think R9's been subbed off for him. A goal for Chris would probably send him through. Round 5 of Swiss style, we have to repeat. 3 players will go through, 3 players will go home from the games that we have got left. Pinna there, it's the small things. When the small things are getting to you, there's no need to get uptight about that. You're back in possession.
It's almost a relief if Pinna scores a goal here.
If he gets a goal, it relieves that bit of stress because we've all been there. Of course, we're not pro players, but when something's not going right for you on FIFA, it's so easy to moan at the small thing. Even moan at the ref.
Yeah. You feel like you're playing against the game and not against your opponent, and that's exactly what Pinna's feeling right now. Feels like everything's just going against him.
Mbappe into Hullet. Pele now. He needed that. Potentially a wake-up call to say, you know what? I shouldn't be in this position. I was 2-0 at the start today. I'm now in a knockout game with 18 minutes left. Simple. Get it together, or potentially New York City Chris has to respond again, and he could be knocking out Pinna.
A simple nod of the head from Stefano Pinna. He wants to get this game wrapped up in the 90 minutes. Allocated time. Doesn't want to be going on extra time. Doesn't even want to be thinking about a potential penalty shootout on the horizon.
You can't really see it as well in the arena. You've got both players, one on the far-hand side on the left, one on the far-hand side of the right.
Yes, great spectacle here at the Gfinity Arena. I think that goal was probably scored, on the 72nd minute, roughly, so about 18 minutes left in this game. Low-driven, timed green from Stefano Pinna. Make no mistake, Pele's going to be your man. Firing you back into a level matchup.
So hard to call as well, Richard, which way this game is going to go. Messi off.
Probably Ronaldinho coming on, maybe. Maybe R9 coming on.
I think it could be R9. You can just see him on the right-hand side there.
We get confirmation there. Is R9 coming on for Messi?
Stage is set. 15 in-game minutes left. Who's going to step up? Will it be New York City, Chris, or will it be Stefano Pinna, or will we need to call upon extra time? Hullet to Vieira. Back to Hullet again. Here we go. This is Chris's turn to try and build into an attack. Hasn't scored a goal in this game.
It's a chance.
This is where Pinna can come forward. Crazy how 2 legs of FIFA, the stories can be so different in the gameplay. R9, he's fresh. He's a big player for a big moment and a big occasion. R9 potentially being the hero. The super summer dreams.
Instant impact from the Brazilian icon. Lovely 1-2 between Mbappe and R9 up top. give and go, give and go, give and go, and then they just saw that little bit of room open up beyond his defender, slipped the ball through. It was all about the C word, composure, in the final third. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He waited for Chris to move the goalkeeper and then fired it past him into the near post. And Pinna, after looking dejected, after looking out of it, after looking third best, there's not even a third player, but he looked third best, did Stefano Pinna. He's come out and potentially booked his place in the knockout round.
You just see there, a little nod of the head. I'm back in this now. Maybe I'm starting to play the FIFA I know I can, as he does go 3 goals to 2 up. You said it, composure. If I can get my words out probably, was a fantastic word to describe that. He had to be composed. Keeper movement was everywhere. The player as well at the back trying to stop it. And Mbappe's going to come off, going to get a new player on for the last, 10 in-game minutes? Certainly not over though. Only a goal behind Chris, and this is going to spark up an attacking movement from Chris. He's going to have to get extra men forward. Ball comes all the way over. If anything, that was a shoulder.
Yeah, a little bit too far out there. I think Eusebio was the player attacking it for Chris, but it just looked a little bit too audacious there.
If Ronaldo is there.
And this space is just going to continue to open up for Pinna. Another pause by the Belgian. He's in a 4-5-1 right now, the same formation we saw him use earlier on to try and seal the game and just see it out. On the side of Chris, I'm sure there'll be changes being made for the American.
As he looks ahead for what a potentially really tough last 7 in-game minutes.
Looks the heavens potentially for his miracle to be answered.
Needs something big here. Switch of play all the way across to Marcelo. Pinna, 4 in-game minutes away, Richard, from getting himself into the knockout stages tomorrow. He's going to get 1 more attack. If he's lucky, 2. New York City Chris needs to get the ball forward. Needs to have one of the best attacks of his tournament so far. And what a story it would be. From 0 to 2 to 2 and 2 to potentially extra time. It's going to go all the way over. And extra time could be on the cards at Gfinity. It's always known for exciting games over here in London. And it looks like we're going to be on for another one here.
No reaction from Chris. Hit straight back from kickoff does Chris. Comes down the other end. Dinked cross. Eusebio rising high inside the box. And just a shake of the head from Pinna. Maybe another formation change back to that 4-2-2. He's going to have an opportunity to win the game. Is Pinna. He's going to get the ball. Probably last attack of the game is guaranteed for him. Can he make it count, or will it be extra time
it's funny to think as well, just a few minutes ago, Richard, that you said you had that chance and kind of digged him out for it. It was like, well, that's a bit of an awful effort. Comes up again, and actually comes up trumps with a fantastic header. A great finish. David De Gea couldn't even get near him. He had a chance, and he took it. Extra time, or are we going to see one more attack? Oh, it's 3 minutes as well. Is there any more in this game?
He's got a corner.
He's giving away a corner, Van Dijk. Watch out for Ronaldo if he's on the field still. Get Ronaldo in the box, certainly. Pele to deliver it. Watch out, Ronaldo, number 8. He's being controlled as well. Punched away by De Gea. Falls back to Rio Ferdinand. Varane into Hullet. He'll get the shot away. An extra time. Looks like it's going to be on the cards. And we're going to see a fantastic finish here for round 5 of Swiss style on the PlayStation side.
Extra time needed here in the Gfinity Arena to solidify who will be going through into tomorrow, into Championship Sunday, you could say.
And I'm just looking across here, which I think for Filza, am I correct there? But since he's just gone through.
A couple of results here, I think these are, or at least as they stand, Webb Nasri has won his second leg 5-0. He's 8-2 up against Lost in the Waves, and that looks like it is full time right now, looking down onto the stage. And for Filza, won his second leg 5-2, so he's gone from 2-2 in the first leg to a 5-2 victory in the second leg. And we just come back, and New York City Chris has just scored.
when we were just talking about the results there. I think we're just seeing an unbelievable start from this extra time period. Even caught us off guard. Kylian Mbappe. Okay then, Chris is now back in front. 2-2 in this game, but overall, 4 goals to 3. And a point about that, Webb Nasri. We never normally see him go through Swiss style.
For Filza has gone through, I believe, 7-4 in the end.
So Filza goes through from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Brazilian player there. And Webb Nasri, the Japanese player.
Who will be joining him?
That's got to be a double blow for Pina. Concedes what? 88th minute. Concedes in the 92nd minute as well. 2 minutes into extra time. Now he's got to pull himself back into this game. Will he be able to do that? Falls back to Pele. Yeah, we're all square again.
Again, the ball just rebounding very, very nicely for him inside the box. He had a feel like that, has Stefano Pina. He gets into the opportunity and it just seems as though the look, everything's going with him right here. You can see Chris tackles him with, I think that's number 6, Sergio Ramos. And then just stumbles, does Ramos. Easy finesse shot past the goalkeeper from very close range. And Pele, he's been the magic man for Pina since he's come on. 2 goals inside 8 minutes. Right now, Hindis, additional play in extra time. We're back to a level scoreline.
Eusebio into Pele. Who's going to next take the next goal? I was going to say, who's going to take the next lead, I should say. Chris scored 2 in 88th minute to bring him back into this game. Scores in the opening 2 minutes. Pina replies literally 4 minutes after. We are just getting closer and closer to penalties, which, if you look on the records of things, Pina's got a bit more experience at penalty shootouts. If he needed to go there, that was a timed header as well.
Yeah, that flick up cross that we're seeing becoming more and more involved in competitive FIFA, you'd have to say.
Added time to come now in the first half of extra time.
Probably a minute, I'd say, maybe 2 minutes.
Going to play 2 minutes, enough time for Pina to get a crossover. Gets a very fortunate deflection on that one. Pull it. Very patient play. Waiting for that shot to come in. Who will take the shot?
That's it.
Great defending again. Van Dijk then just doing his job. You can just see their stats at half-time. And 11 shots, 6 on target overall for Pina. I think slightly more to what Chris has created.
Second half of extra time is looming. You can see a couple of changes from Pina there. R9 very fresh on the pitch. Pele fresh. And Team of the Year Kante also at right CDM is fresh for him. I think Chris Eusebio's come on for him. Modric and Pele, the 3 changes that he's brought on.
Well, this would be the time to score. Second half of extra time. Both these players know how to kind of put on a great display of FIFA esports here. Taking it right down to the wire in round 5 of Swiss style format for a place in the knockouts tomorrow. Watch out for Cristiano Ronaldo there, number 7. Goes all the way to Mbappe instead. David De Gea once again for...
He's been really vigilant, has Pina, with his goalkeeper, whether that's his goalkeeper movement or just bringing him out for crosses. Whenever it's into that back post, he's always bringing him out. Bring him out, bring him out, bring him out. Even if it's a punch, even if it's a fingertip, he's making sure De Gea gets something on it just to disrupt the ball path, the ball flight.
Certainly been noticed as well. Brings him out quite a lot. Mainly does enough just to...
And we're going to get a winning goal. Chris has already had an extra time bonanza, you'd have to say.
Maybe it could be Pina that gets it instead. Crosses that one up. Try and find maybe...
Versus Dulster, I think it was, in extra time. Mark and Dan were saying they didn't want to see a penalty shootout. I want to see a penalty shootout.
Well, we saw him in a penalty shootout before.
Heavy touch.
The heavy touch again. See that from a few players now. I just don't think they expected to get away from their man. So naturally, taking that extra heavy touch. The amount of chances in these 2 legs, there's been so many. We've hit the post, we've hit the bar,
Pina's got to be confident with penalties, you'd say, as well.
He doesn't even look at the screen, I don't think.
Yeah, he's won a couple of penalty shootouts we've seen him in over the last couple of weeks, even a couple of months, you'd say. The biggest victory for him here
and I can't describe to you guys home. These are the only two players left in the Gfinity Arena at the moment. Everybody else has gone home. Whether you're out or whether you're through.
1 minute at a time. If it's not going forward, it's over. He's in. He's actually in.
Can he get there?
Oh.
David Hay, a sweeper keeper.
He fouled him.
It's going to be a penalty shootout to decide a place in the knockouts. Wow. Sometimes 180 minutes of FIFA plus the 30 on top. 210 in-game minutes of FIFA is not enough to separate anyone. Penalty shootout. Chris to step up first with Luka Modric. He goes down the middle and he will score.
We're going to see Pinna stepping up to the spot with R9. Goes to the left and it's a safe penalty. 1-1.
Eusebio now, the man that has been a bit of a hero for Chris. Unfortunately, not from the spot.
Pinna, really good save. Can he capitalise on it with Kante? Goes to the left and scores. Advantage Pinna.
Just follows exactly the moves that he has made. Pele this time. Chris needs to score. That's 2 in a row he's missed. Not good from Chris.
Pinna looking to add to his lead, and he does. To the left again. 3-1. Headsets off for Chris.
Headsets off for Chris. It's not over just yet. Down the middle. Important goal for him.
Pinna, big penalty with Ronaldo. Goes to the right and it's saved from Chris. Hold on.
Needs to score this, Chris. Can't miss it. Goes left. He misses. Pinna goes through. And unfortunately for New York City, Chris, I said it was deja vu before, but unfortunately for him, in the round 5 of Swiss-style format, out the competition. And
another day, another penalty shootout win for Stefano Pinna. Pinna, the king of penalties, you'd have to say. I know he doesn't like leaving it to penalties, but he's got that in his back pocket. I've not seen him lose a penalty shootout.